trophies and a big college scholarship, 64 grand. And there's the final score of game one. Ashley Dunn finishing strong, 179 to 160. And Kimberly Pressler is standing by with Cameron Doyle, the youngest ever to cash in a PBA event.
That's right, and our viewers may also know him because he's done so well the past few years at the U.S. Open. But Cameron, today you're here at the Teen Masters with your peers. What is your favorite part about this event?
Unlike the U.S. Open, it's all the pros. You're bowling against the pros, but here you're bowling against kids your own age. They're in high school. It's a totally different environment, and it's a lot of fun.
Did you give any advice to Greg and Ashley before they went up to this match?
A little bit to Greg, didn't speak to Ashley much, but basically just make your spares because these patterns and with these bowling balls are really hard, and spares are going to win it all.
All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, Mike J. Cameron Doyle is the real deal.
Finished second in this event. And here is our event format. The top 4 boys and 4 girls qualified for these Las Vegas finals. Boys and girls championship match winners advanced to television. These are best of 2 games matches, and now Ashley Dunn leads 1-0, which means Greg Young must have this game to force a roll-off for the scholarship. Young attends Vieira High School, will graduate in 2014. He's 17 years old, down a game. Here's his opening shot in game 2. That time he kicks the 2. Strike for Young.
My advice to Greg Young would be straighter is greater, my friend. Find a way to just pipe it right at the 1-3. See that left arm out in front? I know a couple of guys on our tour that do that, like Pete Weber and Amleto Monicelli. Chris Barnes gets that going a little bit there. That was a nice break rolling the 2.
Ashley Dunn is 16. Get hit, and the 7 refuses to fall.
Oh. Not so good a break now. That pretty good shot there, and comes in, rips a rack, and throws about 3 or 4 pins over into the 7. See that ball right around first arrow, comes in, saws a rack, head pin, another pin go to the sidewall. What's the epoxy on the bottom of that thing? Look out.
And that ball gets away. Did anything with 26 feet of oil play into that spare miss?
Missed target way left, and I promise you, she didn't anticipate the ball hooking that much, which brings up the point about making spares and throwing the ball straight at your spares. When you do that, you take the oil pattern out of play.
A PBA skill ball. Players have choice between a plastic 2.0 and a urethane 3.0. High flush, strike for Dunn.
Boy, you can really see the difference in reaction, Mike J, with that 36-foot pattern on the left lane. That ball was just like a frozen rope to the 1-3. That's called high flush, my friend.
So much to navigate, so much to think about. Every shot is a different lane with a different length of oil. You have 2 balls to choose from. And now Young must navigate the right lane at 26 feet with a strike up here in the second. Skates wide.
I just think he's making a big mistake on that lane. He's looking for that ball to hook, and it's not going to happen. Go to the urethane ball in that lane. That ball is going 60 feet. It's got 60 feet of nothing. And it's really good if you want to hit the 3-6 square in the face every time. And I know that Greg Young doesn't want to do that.
Open frame.
Well, you heard the advice from Cameron Doyle. Make spares because they're tough out there. You can't rely on throwing a lot of strikes. And again, for Greg Young, your defending champion of the Teen Masters, it's another missed spare. Take a deep breath, put it behind you. It's a 3-pin match early on. Make good shots, make your spares.
Third frame for Greg Young.
Great
That's a better result.
Great shot. You see how much more direct and on line that was. So if he wants to stay with the plastic ball in the shorter pattern on the right lane, he's got to move right, keep his target left, and throw the ball straight at the 1-3 from out. But he can't rely on curve on the right lane.
Big family reaction, support for Young.
Dips into his pocket for the rosin bag.
Ashley Dunn now trying to double. Third frame, game 2. Crossover doesn't work that time. 3-pin.
Well, it didn't cross all the way over, Mike J. That was through the nose, and she was fortunate to just leave the 3-pin.
And spare.
That was crazy. I mean, that bowling ball looked like it blew that 3-pin over, but she caught enough of it. That's a huge break, in my opinion. She could have gone back-to-back open frames on that lane.
Spare for Dunn. 3-pin advantage and a game up on Greg Young here. 4th frame. 4-pin.
Yeah, and almost tripped the 9 into the 4, a little back door there, but spare shooting has been the issue. She's been a little spotty on spare conversions, and again, I get back to the throwing it straight and hard with plastic is the only way. And the harder the oil patterns get, the more you wish you had a game where you could throw the ball straight at spares.
Spare for Dunn. She's up a game. She's up 2 pins. Both families are rooting these players onto a $64,000 college scholarship. And we will find out who will take it home. Can Greg Young come back from 1-0? Can Ashley Dunn put Greg away 2-0? We'll find out next at South Point.
The 2014 Teen Masters schedule. Looking forward to qualifying events held across the United States beginning in March.
You know, Mike J., there was no Teen Masters when I was growing up.
I could have used the Teen Masters. What an amazing opportunity to compete across the country, to make friends, and then to get into this environment and bowl for that type of scholarship.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Again, a great job, and kudos to Gary Beck and his staff for putting this together for the youngsters. It's fun to watch.
And then tackling an environment which is tough. 2 different oil patterns, only choices of 2 balls, and to compete at this level. Young down a game, can take the lead here with a strike in the 4th. Right lane has been trouble, and 3-6.
Right lane has been trouble. He has to finish on that lane in this game, down love to 1, and Greg needs to figure it out. It looks like he moved farther right on that right lane, but that time it checked and went high. I think he's probably pretty much dialed in on the left lane. It's just a matter of whether or not he can make shots.
Nice cover on the 3-6 spare for Greg Young. He trails by 2 pins. He's down a game. A reminder, this is best of 2. If Ashley Dunn wins, it's 2-0. She wins the scholarship. Young needs to find a way to win this game to force a roll-off for the title and the $64,000 scholarship.
Did you see that, what he did with his bowling ball there, Mike J? He doesn't even use a towel. He just rotates the bowling ball on his shirt to wipe the oil off. I love that.
You mentioned old school earlier. That is old school. Fifth frame, game 2. Strike for Young.
Well, like I said, he's dialed in on that left lane. It's the right lane that he must figure out, in my opinion, to win this.
Dunn now up. She leads by 2 pins, trying to close out the match and claim the scholarship. Dunn rings a 10-pin.
Really good shot there, just to have the 6 go around the 10-pin. She's really good at making those tough spares like the 3-6-10, the 3-9. But the single pin spares have been a little iffy, especially on this lane.
Stuck at the landing, but the ball was on plane and gets the spare.
Yeah, she either stuck or she slipped. I couldn't tell from this distance. I don't believe she fouled and was able to keep the ball on the lane. Let's take a look here. She did not foul. That was extremely close to being a foul, and that would have been 9 out.
Done up 1, 6 frame. High, 6 pin.
You know, I think that the player that can stay clean the rest of this game is going to win. You know, 9 spare every frame, I think might be enough, unless Greg Young figures out the right lane. Nice break here, only leaving the 6 pin, Mike J. That could have been the big 4 easy, but it's only a 6 pin.
Another single pin conversion for Ashley Dunn. Randy, key shot of the match, Greg Young here on the right lane.
The problem that he has mentally right now is that he's gone light so many times. The last shot went high. That could create a disturbance in the force.
Avoids trouble, but a 6 pin. Not the best effort there from Young.
Yeah, he's completely lost on that lane. He's tried to make the adjustments and move right. And now when he moves right, all the ball does is hook out of his hand and goes Brooklyn. And so for Greg Young right now, he doesn't know what the correct move is. And quite honestly, neither do I.
Just 2 pieces of equipment to choose from. PBA Skill 2 is a plastic ball. PBA Skill 3 is a urethane ball.
I would watch what my opponent does. If I was Greg Young, if Ashley gives him an open, or an opening rather, I might even think about taking my spare ball and throwing it really hard and straight at the head pin, trying to get 9 spare on that right lane.
Young trying to extend the match into a roll-off. 7th frame. He's up high, avoids the split. The 6 and the 10 remain.
Well, the 7 went out late. That's a good thing as he works that rosin bag some more. He's looking at a relatively easy spare conversion. The 6-10, he's going to throw it straight and hard at the 6-10. And with a conversion here, he's only trailing by 2.
Good cover, clean frame for Greg Young. A little bit of advice on the sidelines for Greg Young. Now Ashley Dunn steps up. She's up a game. She's up 2 sticks in the 7th on that same right lane. How will she attack the 26-foot pattern?
She's thrown some pretty good shots on this lane, Mike J. Remember the 10th frame of the last game, she went Brooklyn and then came back with 2 perfect pocket hits.
And now a washout for Dunn.
That was the first time that her ball didn't hook on that right lane from the outside, and this could be the opening that Greg Young was looking for if Ashley Dunn fails to convert the washout. The 1-2-4-10, she's going to try to get the ball left of the head pin and throw it into the 10.
Open frame, and now an opening for Greg Young. Randy, there's a lot going on. You got 2 different oil patterns. How difficult is it to remember one and the other and to keep in mind what ball you're playing, what line you're playing, what adjustments you need to make? There's a lot going on.
I don't think it's that hard for the players to remember. I think it's hard to figure out. You know, is it plastic on the short, urethane on the long, which I think is probably the right, you know, the right way to attack. The shot there, does she get it? I mean, I think that's the right way to attack the oil patterns, but, you know, the transition and the way the lanes changed completely different than what we're used to today. You have oil carrying down and the front part of the lane breaking down. And we're not used to, you know, I know that on the big tour we're not used to seeing that. On the senior tour we're not used to seeing that. And I'm sure these kids aren't used to seeing it as well.
They see it in the Teen Masters, and they love it. They love the competition. They love the ability to compete, and a spare there for Ashley Dunn.
I think this is the shot of the match right here for Greg Young. And what he does on this right lane, how he decides to attack it. There you go. There's your answer, my friend. He's going to the urethane ball. My advice would be don't give the pocket away.
Young down 1 game in this best of 2. Up 14 here, 8th frame. Back on the short oil pattern on the right lane. That's a better shot. Drilled the rack.
What a great shot and a gutsy change. He went to the urethane ball on that lane, and it finally picked up and went high flush. Just a great shot. Here you go, right here. You see it's in the same zone, but urethane versus plastic, the urethane's going to create more friction and thus a little bit more curve on that right lane.
Young trying to force the roll-off. He won the $64,000 college scholarship last year. If he can do it again, his parents would breathe easy for a college education. 9th frame, game 2. Didn't like it, 6-10.
But that's fine. That's more than fine. The 6-10 only and a spare conversion is more than fine. Yeah, getting back to his parents being ecstatic about him winning last year. He wins this year. What is it? We're talking like 1 year paid at NYU?
You could look at Harvard at that point. He's from Florida, though. Plenty of good in-state programs. Nice cover. Ball hits them both. Spare for Young. Max score for Ashley Dunn at this point is 190. The best that Greg Young can do is 194. We've seen Ashley finish strong. Can she do it again? If she can take it right here. Otherwise, we'll have a roll-off. Ball just never picked up. 2 and a 5.
Only 1 strike this game for Ashley. She's lost the right lane. Remember, she found a home there late in the last game, and now there's just 60 feet of skid. This is very choppable too, by the way. Chopping the 2 off the 5 is not that hard to do.
And goes wide and just picks the 5 open for Dunn. And the door now wide open for Greg Young. Best Ashley can shoot is now 167.
Looks like we're going to have a roll-off, guys, and that's all Greg Young wanted was an opportunity. And you know, in a 1-ball roll-off, MJ, anything can happen. And it looks like Greg Young's gotten lined up on the right lane, and Ashley's lost the right lane and the left lane.
It's a wide right for Dunn. Head pin in double wood.
Looks like Greg Young's only going to need a couple of pins in the 10th frame, and we are off to a roll-off.
Spare for Dunn, 157 max. Young can just hit some pins here, but already to think about a roll-off. So Ashley Dunn finishes, puts a 153 on the board. Young has already made this a 1-1 match, which will go to a sudden death 1-ball roll-off.
Yeah, I want to see this shot here again on the right lane. And see if the last shot that he threw on that right lane was a fluke.
He struck back here in the 8th on a perfect shot. Perhaps measuring up this lane now. And better shot, 4-pin, you bet. See ya. there will be a roll-off for a $64,000 college scholarship. Young evens the match at 1-1, and when we return, sudden death for the big prize, $64,000 college scholarship. It comes down to a roll-off for the 2013 Teen Masters Grand Championship and the $64,000 college scholarship. Choice and lane in order determined by the higher two-game pinfall. Greg Young won by 12 pins. Each player will throw once on a lane. Higher pinfall wins. If tied, they'll repeat. And that's a big selection that Greg won by that 12-pin victory.
Yeah, there's all the parents huddled together, saying a prayer. But I think right now the mindset has to be one thing and one thing only. You cannot miss the head pin.
Sudden death roll-off for the Teen Masters Grand Championship. The best of two is even at 1-1. One ball could decide it. Young packs the pocket. Strike.
How about that? How about that, Maple Moxie, my friend? He got lined up on the right lane. He made the ball change, and he said, you know what? It's the fourth quarter. I want the ball in my hand. And, man, what a great shot. As soon as he let go of it, he knew it was flush.
Pure stroke under pressure. Now, done, must match, or Young repeats as Teen Masters Grand Champion. Greg Young, back-to-back 2013 Teen Masters Grand Champion and his second $64,000 college scholarship.
Well, very well deserved. Greg Young is just a tremendous talent. Get a high five there from the boys. Cameron Doyle, his guys. But this was a phenomenal shot under pressure. Just a great, great shot. 1-3 pocket, just 10 back. He knew it as soon as he let go of it.
And Kimberly Pressler is standing by with our scholarship winner.
Yes, I am with Greg, and he seems very happy. Now let's go over the game. First, you threw gutter ball in that first match. It cost you that match. Yeah. You got a win in the second one, which forced the roll-off. How did you bounce back to win this roll-off?
Well, I absolutely the worst look on the short pattern with plastic, and finally I smartened up and switched to urethane, and it turned out to be my better look. So I just went with my gut and just picked that lane for the roll-off and paid off.
You are a repeating champion now. How does this moment feel for you?
It's amazing. I mean, $128,000 now is enough for college, and going debt-free is just going to be great.
Congratulations on remaining the Teen Masters Grand Champion.
Coming up next Sunday, the PBA's signature event, the Barbasol Tournament of Champions. Live from Thunderbolt Lanes in Detroit. Coverage begins at noon Eastern. Greg Young, a Teen Masters champion today, and perhaps a PBA Tour star of tomorrow. Who knows? For Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, this is Mike Jakubowski. Thanks for watching.